You have said throughout this process that you will support the Republican presidential nominee. Now you have a presumptive nominee, Donald Trump. Will you support him?
Well, to be perfectly candid with you, Jake, I'm just not ready to do that at this point. I'm not there right now. And I hope to, though, and I want to. But I think what is required is that we unify this party. And I think the bulk of the burden on unifying the party will have to come from our presumptive nominee.
He is the man who did not want to become vice president of the United States, yet reluctantly took the chance when afforded. He is the elected official who did not want to be Speaker of the House, yet decided to serve his country when called. He is the Speaker who absolutely does not want to become president of the United States at the moment, but would seem to be sticking his nose in the game right now and butting heads with the man who may be handed these reins in November. Paul Ryan is at the same time a hero to true conservative Republicans and a figurative Satan to those who insist he get in line behind Donald Trump or face their wrath. He is at the moment unafraid, putting himself smack dab at ground zero of the inevitable war, where both sides will be picking up a massive mess come November, win or lose. Oh, then there's Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and Hillary wanting to turn Republicans into Democrats. This is where the verbal rubber meets the reality road. Friday version of the political animal, guaranteed to incite and inspire, though not always in that order. Leaning left, veteran Democratic media strategist at Cate Communications, Franco Ripple. Leaning right, veteran Republican strategist, Georgetown University professor Bradley Blakeman. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Brad, going to come to you first with a simple question. What's Paul Ryan's game?
Well, I don't really know what it is. I was kind of rocked by the fact that he came out so forcefully and said, I'm not on Trump's team. The train has left the station, and there's not going to be another nominee but Donald Trump. This is something that should have been worked out behind closed doors. We shouldn't be airing our laundry in public, especially when it's dirty. So I don't know what his end game is. I know that the end game, if we're going to win, is every Republican must get on the Trump train. Because we need our base, and we have to augment that with independents and conservative, fiscally responsible Democrats. And if we don't, we lose.
But would you not admit that not everybody is going to get on board that train? That train is falling off the rails in some places. Look, and not looking to insult anybody, but Brad, it's not going to happen.
Well, no, there are some who are not going to get on, but there are some.
There's a lot who aren't going to get on, actually.
Well, no, I wouldn't say there are a lot when you're taking into account a national election. There are going to be some who will not get on the Trump train, some that'll get on late, some will get on reluctantly, and some that will jump on board. I'm a reluctant passenger, but now that Donald Trump is our nominee, I like him a heck of a lot better than I like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, or if Hillary's indicted, anybody else they can come up with.
I tend to think there's a lot of reluctant passengers out there, quite frankly. All right. Franco, I come to you with another simple question. Did Donald Trump and Paul Ryan just hand the election to the Democrats?
No, not necessarily. I do think it's a very significant chance that Democrats win a third term in the White House, in large part due to Donald Trump and his historically stratospherically high negative ratings all across the board, from women to Hispanic voters and so on. But no, I don't think this single instance, which really, the three of us and some political insiders in Washington, D.C. are the ones talking about this. I'm not sure that many average real people care necessarily what Paul Ryan thinks. Yes, he is going to be leading the GOP convention. I agree with Brad that this will come to a solution before it gets to that point. But for Paul Ryan, this is really all about politics. I think it's a little bit about principles, but it's also the fact that Paul Ryan doesn't want his House majority of 30 seats to be significantly endangered or even overthrown by the Trump ticket, as it were, which there's a real chance of that happening.
Now, the down ticket is something we're going to talk about momentarily. But, Brad, coming back to you, Lindsey Graham, who certainly is a very shy, demure kind of guy who is always really not wanting to say what he really feels like in public. Lindsey Graham says today he will not vote for Trump, he will not support Trump, nor will he support Hillary Clinton. What kind of a wrench does this throw into the whole mix? Because let's be honest again, there's a lot of people out there, you're reluctant for Trump, you hate Hillary Clinton, but there's a lot of people who I think are going to follow him.
I don't think there's a lot. I think there will be those who won't follow him. Lindsey Graham didn't have a very good showing. I don't think he has very big coattails when it comes to influencing others. That's his right to support who he wants.
So is he just a guy then, Brad, quite frankly? I mean, he's a failed candidate who's just out there shooting in the wind. That's all it is. Let him go. Let him bluster. Let him do whatever he wants to say because, in effect, he's inconsequential.
He is, and he is. If you ask Donald Trump, I think he would say that and worse. The fact is, he didn't perform well as a presidential candidate. None of the people he supported after he dropped out, went very far. And the bottom line is, Donald Trump is our nominee. I want to beat Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, whoever else they come up with, and Trump's the only guy who's going to do it.
I want to get
Guys,
to both
I'm
the
going to
comments.
disagree. I
Go
want to
ahead.
disagree with both of you here real quick, because now you're overstating things too far to the other direction. Yes, Lindsey Graham is one guy. He's a senior senator. There's no doubt about that. But he's still one guy, except the establishment GOP is looking for people like Paul Ryan, like Lindsey Graham, maybe even like John McCain, who said privately that Trump endangers his chances of re-election. They're looking, and the Bushes, who said that they will not be endorsing Donald Trump. The establishment is looking for lightning rods to rally around to say, you know what, I'm not in either. And it could come in the form of Lindsey Graham.
Briefly, Rick Perry, former candidate, announced his support for Donald Trump, and he's even being talked about VP. Here's what he had to say about Trump in July of 2015.
When I found out about the real Donald Trump, I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what I heard. And I don't think Americans are, when they really take it. This is a guy who's for single-payer health care. This is a guy who is for raising the taxes a huge amount. This is a person that I think would be more comfortable with Hillary Clinton than he is running for the Republicans.
5-second reaction from both of you. Franco, you first.
Craven politics at his worst, but he'll take the VP slot if offered.
Brad Blakeman.
Politics makes strange bedfellows, and isn't it funny now that the ones who are against Trump are now for Trump?
That's the way it's going. Stick around, gentlemen. We're going to come back, talk about something Hillary Clinton thinks she can do with Republicans. Next on The Hardline.
Just yesterday, Donald Trump doubled down on his plan to create a deportation force to round up millions of people. That's actually what he said. He has pledged in his first days in office to scrap DACA and DAPA and to finalize a design for a giant wall on the border. Well, the best way to prevent that from happening is to make sure he never gets near the White House.
I'll learn how to read those scripts without always looking down, Mrs. Clinton. It would rival some of the great moments in history, seeking to build pyramids without straw, defeating a giant with a slingshot, raising the Titanic in one piece, convincing people that the classic film Animal House is not a documentary, cajoling and convincing angry Republicans to cross the streams of life and horror of horrors, pull the lever this November for Hillary Clinton instead of Donald Trump. Let the ground shake, let the heavens fall. Let the experts detail it all. Welcome back, Bradley Blakeman from the right, Franco Ripple from the left. Having set it up that way, here we go, Franco. I'm going to start with you on the left this time. Hillary Clinton believes that she can actually go out there, reposition herself, be a little less left, appeal to the Republicans. She believes she can actually get Republicans to vote for her in November. Oh, please, Franco, she's got to be kidding.
No, of course she's not kidding, because no matter what, look, presidential elections in the last several cycles have become base elections. It's more about turning out more of my people than your people. That's what it comes down to. But you still have to reach across the aisle. You still have to govern for all Americans once you're elected. So it's not surprising to me that the campaign is reaching out to those moderate disaffected Republicans that we just talked about in the previous segment. It's not surprising to me at all, and I think there's a very good chance that a good number of them may...
But Franco, wait, please. Republicans see her as Satan incarnate. She is Beelzebub. If her hair falls off, they'll see horns pumping out from her head. But Franco, there's not a Republican in the world that would do it. They would fear being smitten down at where they stand.
Well, brimstone and fire and rain may fall from the fiery heavens. That's true. But I think all you have to do is look at her time in the Senate. She worked very well with lots of Republican colleagues. There's a lot of moderate Republicans, including, ones here in Florida, a swing state that I'm talking to, that are saying they're either looking ahead to 2020 or they're saying, yeah, look, Hillary Clinton, senator, first lady, secretary of state. She knows what she's doing. She's arguably the most qualified candidate on experience to be president in modern times.
Okay,
yeah, I'm gonna vote for her.
Okay. I'm going over to Brad on this one. Brad, we've heard of now. Brad, please don't put in potential indictment in all this. Let's leave that aside for a moment. Let's just say that she is indeed in November. She is the candidate. Can you actually see any Republicans that you know, hardcore Republicans, walking into that ballot box and checking for Hillary Clinton?
No way. It ain't happening. There is no way a Republican who is disenfranchised with Donald Trump is going to pull the Hillary lever. They'll go down ballot, but they're never, ever going to go for Hillary Clinton. It's just not happening. They'll look to the next election cycle, and that's the way it's going to be.
How fearful are you then, changing the subject to talking about down ticket for a moment, the fears that people have that if Donald Trump is indeed the nominee and if he runs, that he will get crushed, what people are thinking, and that this will hurt everybody all the way down to dog catcher in a lot of cities in America?
Well, you know, there's an old mob saying in New York that a fish rots from the head. And it's true. If the standard bearer of your party is going to take a shellacking, then you can bet that others are going to do not well as well.
But
so,
let's just say this.
Yeah.
Let's say this, Brad. What happens if indeed Donald Trump wins? I mean,
If Donald Trump wins, he's going to win, and other people are going to have the beneficiary of his coattails who maybe weren't that enthusiastic. So they'll benefit from Donald Trump. If he wins, no question about that.
Franco's not falling for it, but I'm not going to give him a chance here because he will go off on this one. I got 60 seconds left. I want to get this from both of you. Our buddy Brent Badowski at The Hill says that a ticket of Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren would sweep America, crush everybody. Franco, 30 seconds to you.
I think it's far more likely that a Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren ticket would sweep Americans. It would captivate them. It would be a great thing for Americans, but I think it's unlikely to happen because Elizabeth Warren could very well be the Senate Majority Leader this time next year.
All right, Brad, I come back to you with all of the turmoil that the Republican Party is in right now, and they are, regardless of where you stand at this point. Is there a fear for a Sanders-Warren ticket or a Clinton-Warren ticket that it would indeed be a crushing blow?
If I were in Sweden, I'd worry about it, but not in the United States.
Why? Why Sweden? Why did you pick on Sweden of all places?
I don't know. They seem pretty liberal to me.
It's a lovely country. Good people.
But no fear whatsoever. You think that's an impossibility?
No, I welcome it. I think that would be a tremendous ticket for the Democrats.
That's what I wanted you to say right there. I knew you would welcome this as well. Franco Ripple, Bradley Blakeman, we cannot welcome. We must say goodbye, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. You want to tell us exactly how you feel? Here's your chance to do it. Something brand new here at The Hardline. We're calling it the 15 Seconds of Fame. That's all you get. 15 seconds. Go to NewsmaxUSA.com. It's a video message. We'll take them. We'll get the best of them out there. I want to see what you got. Seriously. You have no excuses not to try this. NewsmaxUSA.com. Try to see if you can defeat and be part of the 15 Seconds of Fame. Stay with us. The Hardline continues.